You'll never run out of power with this power station. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I have a lot of devices. I probably have more devices than you do. But whether you just have a phone or you have an array of different gadgets that you like to carry around with you, it's inevitable. At some point you're going to feel like, running out of power, I need to figure out how to charge it. Now, wall outlets and chargers aren't always convenient, so there's a whole ecosystem of third-party external batteries, typically called power stations. And some of the best and most flexible of those are built by a company called Mophie. So that's what I'm looking at today. This is the Mophie Powerstation XL 20-watt USB-C charging device. And right off the bat, you can see on the end here that it has a USB-C in the middle and then two USB plugs on the sides. What this means is it doesn't have any built-in cables or wires, so you're going to have to bring your own wires. Now, most of us have those in our bags or backpacks or briefcases or purses anyway, so not a huge big deal, but important to know this is basically just a really big battery. And in terms of functionality, there's really not much else on the device. There's one button because on this side, there is a 4 LED. You can push a button and it'll show you how much charge remains. And this one's still pretty much fully charged with 4 dots being shown. And then of course the big question is, how big is this? What's its capacity? And you can see it's thick. And it's thick because it's a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. And that is a lot. By comparison, this iPhone has about a 3,500 milliamp hour battery. So you can imagine, by comparison, this is like having 5 iPhone batteries in my pocket. Now, it is big, it is hefty, but when I'm actually at a trade show or I'm at school or whatever, and I just need a charge and I don't want to fuss with having to sit next to an outlet for half an hour or something, this is such a great solution. Now, what makes this particularly cool is that the center USB uses what's known as power delivery. It's a protocol where this device can talk to the other device and they can figure out the fastest maximum possible charging. So this can go up to 20 watts. And when I plug it into my Google Pixel 6 Pro, it actually will say, as you can see here, charging rapidly. And that's great because it means it's getting the maximum possible power from here. In fact, my Pixel 6 Pro will charge 48% in an hour just off of this device, which is really fantastic because so many of these external batteries are slow chargers. Now, interestingly, the Apple iPhone is much more picky about its power, and it doesn't work with power delivery in the same way. So when I plug my iPhone into this thing, I only got a 27% charge in an hour. But the iPhone's also rather infamous for charging at different speeds based on how much you do or don't have already in the battery. In other words, if you're at 10%, it'll charge faster to 50% than if you're at 80% and it wants to charge to 100%. So there's different times, but suffice to say, the Pixel charges basically twice as fast as the iPhone does in my tests. Now, your mileage may vary, but it's really pretty simple. So plug in something to USB-C. So for example, let's try my Apple Watch. So I'll plug in the USB-C, it's ready to roll, and we'll put the Apple Watch on its charger. And there you go. Now you can see my Apple Watch is charging away and ready to get the rest of its charge. So it's at 100%, super easy to work with. But, all right, while I'm doing that, let me do some more charging. So, have an USB-A to Lightning connector. So I can plug that in on one side. Let's put that here. And then what I'm going to do on the other side, let's get this off to the side a little bit. On the other side, let's see what else we can do. We can do a USB-A to USB-C. And again, you need to have your collection of cables for this to work optimally, but I'm going to plug that into the Pixel phone, and then I'm going to plug my Lightning cord into a pair of Apple AirPods. And then we're just going to let everything go. And the light here and the display on here and my watch everything's still charging. Now, there's not an infinite amount of power coming out of this thing. So when I add all these other devices, then now they're sharing 15 watts across all 3 ports. So that means my Apple Watch charge went down. So if I unplug the other things, then the watch will charge faster. But I'm charging 3 devices simultaneously with something I can put in my pocket. And that's pretty sweet. So one of the other things I'm going to give Mophie, which is actually a division of Zag, but I'm going to give them a lot of credit for, is that number one, their packaging is 100% recyclable. And the unit itself, the battery is not particularly recyclable, but the packaging, the exterior plastic of this is 50% post-consumer plastic. And that's important. We go through a lot of stuff and we don't really need to fill our landfills. So I appreciate the company putting in the effort to be a little bit more green. So not much else I can tell you. Everything's charging away, but let me unplug everything anyway. And so, you know, this is it. It is, from a physical appearance, it looks like maybe a very small version of what you might find in 2001: A Space Odyssey. We can put it here and have tiny little, like, chimpanzees or apes or something cavorting around the bottom. But honestly, it's small enough that you can put this in your pocket. You can certainly carry this around with you, but it is a pound in weight. There's a lot of battery inside. And dimensions-wise, it's 6 inches by 2.75 inches by 1.25 inches thick. Mophie makes a ton of these different power stations with different sizes and capacities, but the real key on this one is both that it has an enormous capacity at 20,000 milliamp hours, but it also has that PD or power delivery USB-C that can go up to 20 watts, which again means that, like with my Google Pixel 6 Pro, it was doing a rapid charge, which is just music to your ears, or I don't know, music to your eyes when you see that show up on your screen. So that's everything. All we need to do is we need to talk about price. And before we get there, I'm going to go ahead and ask if you could subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate when you do that. Click on that subscribe, click on the bell notifications so that you get notifications of my new videos. We're connected. And if you found this helpful, useful, interesting, then go ahead and give me a like or a thumbs up. Also really appreciate that. Thank you. Cool. This is the Mophie Powerstation XL 20-watt USB-C power station, and it is $59.95 at zag.com. It is hefty, but it has a ridiculous amount of juice, and this is so powerful and has so much energy and so much charge inside it, you can be charging all your friends' phones at the same time, and that's a big win. You're gonna make some good friends that way. That's all I got. I'm gonna get back to getting everything charged up again, so we'll hope to catch you in my next video.